I was yesterday with my friend outside, just hanging out, and we had that day for a long time an argument between us. It started from one small thing, not so big thing, but when that argument went longer and longer, the things started to escalate. And when I now look that situation backward, and in that situation kind of sense, I also recognize that the longer that argument went, the more our egos started to take place. And today I want to talk to you about the danger of your ego, how it can be your greatest asset or your greatest danger, distraction. Like it is like a fire, that if you control it, it can be your greatest friend, but if you can't, then it's your greatest adversary. If you look at the those so many arguments in this life between people, the most often caused reason to those is people's egos. And you probably have seen so many times when even one little thing, one small problem escalates so much and creates so much distraction. And it is mostly caused by people's uncontrolled egos. When I started this argument conversation with my friend, it was at the beginning kind of rational and good spirit in there. But in some point, when it went further and further, the tone of the discussion changed, and it started reminding of more blaming and accusing than just rational conversation where you try to resolve things. It started reminding of some kind of competition, a war between us. That the other person is some kind of threat to you. Competing that who is better. It was not longer about resolving the problem. It was more personal. And it was mostly because of our egos. It was not us who we are anymore who we are talking in that moment. It were our egos. And so there is so much danger in your ego if you can't control it or acknowledge it. I have so many times in my life with this friend that I had this argument or a fight, whatever you want to call it, yesterday. Had same kind of arguments so many times earlier in my life, and they went more wrong way, escalated much more, and the consequences was much harder compared to this time, because we have been grown each other, both of us, and in some point of that conversation we realized what is this thing really about. And took responsibility, both parties, of our own involvement, mistakes and reasons, and came together and apologized, each of us, both of us. But it is, for me at least, a really long journey, so I really want you to be compassionate with you. But you really have to be very aware of these things. It is so dangerous and strong thing in you, that ego. If you just give any power to it without controlling. So what we did in that fight or argument, when things started escalate, both of us took a long breath and tried to detach from that situation, kind of. And try to see beyond this one argument and situation. See that other person as your partner, not your competitor. See that person, your friend, as a fellow human, and bringing compassion and understanding in that problem and situation. Understanding that we all are human, both of us. We have our own flaws, and we don't always have to be right. And even if we are, we don't have to be agreeing with that. These discussions and situations don't always have to be end to both parties being agreeing with each other. You have to start acknowledging when your ego start taking over and over more and more. When the situation starts to go more personal, blaming and accusing, and less rational. But you have to always take care of these things and not being so cold and rational always. And understanding that these things, this life is not always that serious. And that one situation is just one situation, and your ego just tries to feed yourself stupid things. Try to exaggerate things, make these things bigger than they really are. Just trying to feed yourself that you have to always be better or something amazing and more wiser and better and stronger than everybody else. But this life don't have to be like that. You have always the choice to see that other person as a human, as a fellow being, as a loving partner, friend, or your enemy, something threat to you, something to compete against. And of course there is place and times for both of these decisions, but mostly I encourage you to choose the first one. It hurts me to look at around me on all these many fights and arguments between people, and also when I look at my life back, all those situations, I understood that there was ego big part of that situations. Two loving friends being rip apart because of ego, something that is not us. Where is your compassion and understanding towards that other person? Understanding that it takes time, we as humans, to change, and we all have different problems. We are not perfect. Can you just accept that maybe that person just can't see right now that problem or thing the same way that you see it? And can you just accept it that maybe later things will change? Is it really that big of a problem here and now, this thing, that you have to be constantly reminding of that and not moving forward without getting apology or recognizing of that? So I really encourage you to, next time when you have argument, if it's just possible, you to take a long breath middle of that situation. Tell yourself that everything is okay and this is not so serious. even if there is no physical threat. That is only if that situation is just a discussion or argument between somebody. Analyzing that situation and detaching it in a way. What is the problem here and what we try to resolve here? Why this is so important to resolve now? And what would be the desired outcome? And what if you can't achieve that? What then? And I really know and understand you that these things are so much easier said than done. It took me almost 30 years to some way handle these things. I am not even close to perfect, but it is possible always to go to better direction if you are just willing and acknowledge these things and understand these things. So give yourself that possibility, and so many relationships would be rescued and recovered. And I hope that you really understand how serious thing this is, how big of a problem it could be. Not trying to cause fear, but awareness, understanding, so that you can hopefully do better next time. So many relationships, good people have been destroyed because of their egos. And there is no just not rational sense most of those situations. It starts from little thing and try to make it so much bigger than it is. So stupid things causing so much harm. So I really hope that you have learned something today, and always and also try to pass this information forward so that we can live more better way, more loving way together. As humans, as we all are, bringing more compassion and understanding and love to this world that it really needs. Nobody of us really needs darkness or fights or disagreements or any more hurt. Thank you again so much being with me. Always a pleasure to try to help and give some away. hopefully we see you next time again. Take care and thank you.